she like, get out. I'm like, well, in the state of Georgia, after somebody being there 30 days, you got to take us to housing court. That's it.
So
I guess she figured out she could use
instead of listening to this,
instead of listening to this lady,
instead of listening to her and get out of her house, she's sick. There's 9 people in a 1-bedroom house. You decide that you're going to play lawyer and tell her, she's got to evict you.
Because everything was cool. We was spending money on her.
Question for him,
and she just broke out with that.
That's a question for him, Ms. Hawkins. That's a question for him, Ms.
I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Family Court Drama. In today's episode, an elderly woman is seeking a temporary protection order against her former friends. She generously allowed them and their 6 children to move into her 1-bedroom apartment, but claims they soon took over her home. When the situation turned toxic, she asked them to leave, but they refused. The defendants argue that they were thankful to the plaintiff for offering them a place to stay. However, they claim that after refusing to let the plaintiff take one of their children out of town, she turned on them and demanded they move out. Let's see how the judge handles this tense situation.
You're about to give us the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, Mr.
Hawkins?
Yes. Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, here's the thing. We're not going to talk over each other. We're not going to argue with one another. Ms. Hawkins, you have to be still. You got to sit down and light somewhere, like my mom used to say. Got to see your face, your backlit. All right. Once you start from the most recent event, Miss Denise, and work backwards, okay? And be specific. If it was Mr. Hawkins, say him. If it was Miss Hawkins, say her. You folks don't interrupt her. And I won't, and then I'll let you folks ask a couple of questions, or I can ask a couple, okay? Go ahead, Miss Denise.
All I know is that I have to admit that I did allow them to come here because I'm a senior. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm really not supposed to let nobody stay with me, but I did take them and their kids in. But anyway, to make a long story short, they basically took over my apartment. It got to the point where sometimes I was having to urinate in the trash can in my bedroom because my bathroom was always, being tied up. So anyway, the night before Christmas, I had said to Felicia, because her 18-year-old was in the bathroom, I said to Felicia on Christmas Eve, I said, can you please tell Sine that I have to use the bathroom real bad? I said, because the level of ignorance and disrespect that she has for me, I said, I don't understand, because I've been nothing but good to her since I first met her. And then I also said, I don't owe her a effing thing. So I came in my room and I pushed my door to. So next thing I know, I hear Felicia out there screaming and howling and cussing. So I go out there, I'm thinking she talking to the girl, but she out there jumping around. It's like 1 o'clock at night. I got neighbors. She out there in the living room jumping around, screaming and howling and cussing, talking about what she gonna do to my pastor's wife.
Who was out there jumping around, screaming and cussing?
Felicia was in there jumping around talking about they want Flip. They got MF and Flip. I guess Flip is her nickname or whatever. So she's in there jumping around, screaming and cussing, talking about what she's going to do to my pastor's wife. So, which I don't understand, because when they first came here, those kids, they came here with nothing. Those kids came here in pajamas and slippers. They didn't even have clothes and coats. So my pastor's wife, she got clothes, she got coats. She even made sure we ate every day until the food stamps came through. She did nothing but help. She got a bunch of blankets so that they was able to lay on the floor. So
okay, so hold on. Let's get back to you two, not your pastor's wife.
Okay.
What else did Miss Hawkins do to you?
So then her husband says to me, because I'm shaking, I'm scared, I'm not gonna lie. Okay,
hold on. What else did Miss Hawkins do to you? We'll get to Mr. Hawkins in a minute. What else did Miss Hawkins do to you?
She went outside and smoked a cigarette. She didn't do nothing else to me.
Okay, but in your thing, it says there's been some death threats or something like that.
Okay, well, when I was in the hospital, that's when I was in the hospital. She told me, because I had been hospitalized twice. I was in 2 different hospitals. She told me, she said, the reason why you sick, because it's a spirit of death following you around your house. And she told me that her and her kids was praying that I died, that I was going to die. Okay, that's what she told me when I was in the hospital. So, I had told her. And then she also had told me that some of her kids heard me call the two little girls MFers. I never called those kids that. So she gonna say that her husband heard it too. So I told her, I said, well, since your kids and your husband is lying on me, I want y'all out of my house before I get out the hospital. Because one thing I don't like is liars, because I done seen a lot of people get in trouble because of lies. And if you tell one lie, you'll tell another one. And like I said, your kids is not going to jam me up. Okay, so
they were all staying at your house?
yes, it was the husband, the wife, and 6 kids,
You have,
ages.
wait a minute, hold on. You have a 1-bedroom apartment
Yes, ma'am.
and all of you were staying there?
Yes, ma'am.
So you opened your house to them for as a favor?
Well, it was cold and they didn't have nowhere to go, and I felt sorry for the kids. And I can't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a real kind heart. And I always get the short end of the stick, but I learned my lesson this time. You know what I'm saying? Everything was fine when they first came. But then what happened was, like I said, when I was in the hospital and I told her that, you know, I wanted her and them to go. So she was like, fine. She said, I'm gonna put my kids somewhere safe tomorrow until me and Sean, which is her husband, until we get on our feet. So I said, thank you. I'd appreciate that. So after that, she called me back because I guess she realized since they've been here for a certain amount of time that I couldn't put them out. So she called me back, telling me we ain't going no MF from where until the FI get ready. This RSHIT now, we up in this piece, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Felicia, not right now. And I can't go through this, you know what I'm saying? So then anyway, like I said, on Christmas Eve, when she was in here acting a fool, her husband Sean gonna say to me, you can't put us out, and the leasing office can't put us out neither. His exact words were, we've been through this so many times, we know how this go.
So tell me, what in specifically did Mr. Hawkins say or do to you besides that?
That's except the fact that he lied and said he heard me call his kids MFers when I know that I didn't. That's the only thing that he did. You know, he told me that I couldn't put him out and that the leasing office couldn't put him out because they've been through this so many times that they knows how this go. So I'm saying in the back of my mind, okay, you know, because like I said, and at one time, it seemed like whenever I ate or drank something out of my refrigerator, I had diarrhea. So I was thinking that they was putting something in my food and my drinks. You know what I'm saying?
So were you in fear for your safety?
Yes, I was. At one time, yes, I was. Yes,
Okay.
I was.
Hold on a second. All right, Miss Hawkins, you got to turn the light on so I can see your face. All right, I'll hear from you, Miss
You
Hawkins.
see me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good to know. How are you?
I'm well. Go ahead.
Me and Miss Denise is friends. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Me and Miss Denise is friends. November 10th, November 9th is when we moved over to Miss Denise's house. The reason being because, you know, we got that Kim money. Kim gave everybody money. We was homeless, was staying in a B&B. The money somebody stole our money in Newark. We didn't have nowhere to go. Denise said, you know, I love y'all kids. Y'all got some kids. Y'all some good people. Y'all come over here. First, I was reluctant, and then I said, okay, we ain't got nowhere to go. My job was paying enough. I was working at Cracker Barrel. It just went down to 5 hours, $11 an hour. So I said, okay, I took Miss Denise up on her offer. We got there. We had a good time. She was like, I was trying to get as soon as possible, Denise. She was like, oh, y'all can go Thanksgiving. I had no Thanksgiving with nobody. I know Sean cook. I know you can cook. And I said, cool, yeah, we'll cook for you. You know, she was sick off and on. They went to church. When they went to church, they got sick from the pastor's grandkids. They got caught the flu. My daughter had the flu. Miss Denise had the flu. So she called me. She said, you know, she texted me, you need to take them kids to the hospital. I said, I am. I took them that was coughing, but only one had the flu. So they went back to church. So went back to church. They came back. The coughing started again. Ms. Denise asked me, can she take my 14-year-old to Tennessee with her? I told her no. I said, I don't know y'all. Y'all take her to Tennessee. So the pastor's wife, she mentioned again, she gave us some money on a bus card to, get our jobs. See, all the way from North Cross to Union City, we need new jobs. So I thought that was, nice. She said she got a program, nonprofit. She helped people. But when I told her she couldn't take my 14-year-old out of town, stuff started changing around. It started getting funny. So I said, okay. She got sick again after she went to Tennessee. She came back. The doctor said it was a different kind of flu because my kids got sick again. So she sent me this message. I was talking to her from, texting her from while she was at the hospital, like, hey, this Felicia, how you doing? I hope you feel better. She had texted me back, yeah, you need to take them kids to the hospital. I said, I am. But it seemed like more people now. So instead of me just trying to get on the bus because I don't have no money and I have to go on the other side of town to go to my storage, I'm trying to get my money together to get a car so we all can go.
Here you go, stand by. So I'm following a whole bunch of what you say, but according to her, y'all were making her pee in the trash can because y'all weren't being very respectful. And
oh my God, we had nothing but love, Your Honor. We had nothing but love. All this, she told me right before we left, I peed in my trash can. It's no big thing, but if somebody in there, I just pee in my trash can. I didn't know it was a problem. Whenever Miss Denise said, we was making her food, which she really wasn't eating, but she had eaten Miss Geraldine, her pastor's wife. So she wasn't eating our food like that. But I go buy water, I go buy the things she like. So she, eat that, but she don't eat it all. So no, like she was peeing in her garbage can. She was because she wanted to. It was no reason why we in there, do what we got to do and get out. We know it's a lot of us.
In her petition, it says that you told her, let's see what it says, the spirit of death was following her around her house.
She told me
she's going to die. And
she told me.
Hold on, and it says your children were praying that she die, and y'all broke the bathroom door, damaged the entertainment center. Let's see.
I have pictures.
And that you've been smoking weed and drinking every day at her house, and you burned up her pan.
And I burned up her pan.
Yeah, that was all
okay.
The petition that you
Whoever put the apartments together, we fixed that stuff. Like we fixed the door in the bathroom. It was coming off. So my husband fixed it back. We spent $100, bought her some nice brand new bathroom stuff, some stainless steel bathroom stuff to go behind the toilet, a bar to go on top of the toilet. We bought her a stainless steel and diamond like scrunchy thing to wash out the toilet with. I did all the cleaning and I did it very well. Like I said, we took care of Miss Denise as much as possible. Her furniture, she said it came from, she was homeless as well. So she said she got the furniture from a program. After she came back, when she put this plan together, she did tell me from the hospital, I want you to leave. And I'm like, oh my God, Miss Denise, we ain't do nothing. Because this that she sent me. She sent me a text telling me, you ain't did nothing I told you to do since you've been here. All you do is smoke and drink. So I'm like, Miss Denise, all you do is smoke and drink too, and you smoke crack. I would never judge you smoking crack. I said, why you judging me? I handle my business. My daughter go to work, my husband go to work. And then I had to let her know. I was trying to get a job doing, the daytime hours. I don't know nothing over here. But my husband said you call the little girls motherfuckers. So I never say that. Your kids lied on me. I said, I didn't say my kids, my husband.
Okay. Mr. Hawkins, go ahead. Let me hear from you.
When we first got there, like she said, on November, Denise was already complaining about headaches and stuff. She said she wouldn't for the first week. We seen her maybe twice. She got up, went to the bathroom, got some water, then went laid back down. She wasn't eating or doing nothing. She went to church, like my wife said. She took my 2 daughters with her. They came back with the flu. They was in the room coughing for a couple of days. She finally decided to go to the doctors. She went to the doctors. She found out that she had, it's in the text messages my wife got. We got all the text messages since we've been there. She found out that she had the flu, and they think she had blood clots on her lungs. Okay, so she went out, she came home, she went to Tennessee, she came back with another strand of the flu. The kids got sick. We moved everybody out of that room because she said she was coming back with oxygen this time. So she had
Y'all
oxygen.
got 8 people living up in this house with this poor lady.
We weren't even trying to stay there though. That's what the whole thing was. We were saving our money to get an apartment. Like we're not, you know what I'm saying? We already know this was no place we wanted to be. We didn't even want to come on this side of town because we were from Norcross. Like we was working, trying to get out of there. That's what we were doing. When she got sick, that's when she started flipping out on us. She just switched up. So I informed, like, she like, get out. I'm like, well, in the state of Georgia, after somebody being there 30 days, you got to take us to housing court. That's it.
So
I guess she figured out she could use
instead of listening to this,
instead of listening to
her and get out of her house, she's sick. There's 9 people in a 1-bedroom house. You decide that you're going to play lawyer and tell her, she's got to evict you.
Because everything was cool. We was spending money on her.
Question for him,
and
Ms.
she
Hawkins.
just broke out with that.
That's a
because
question for
he
him,
couldn't
Ms.
go with her.
Hawkins. That's a question for him, Ms.
I'm
Hawkins.
sorry.
Mr. Hawkins. So then you decided she can't put you anywhere.
After I started working, that it takes, I have to have a certain amount of checks to give to apartments, you know what I'm saying, to show my income. So we like I said, we were planning on being gone for Christmas, but we ended up having to like double pay my bills because we knew we were having to leave and save money to get in the hotel. This cost $108 a day. That's what we were doing. We were going to leave, period.
So how did all the damage get done? Like, Mr. Hawkins, how did all the damage? No, Miss Hawkins, I'm talking to Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins, how did the damage get done to the house?
I don't know what damage she's talking about. When we got there, her toilet roll and her door handle was loose. It's Allen key screws you need to use. I told her I had some, they was in my storage. You know what I'm saying? I get them when I go to my storage. I rented a car to even go over there. But that's when the different stuff started happening. Like every day she'll come out and show us the pictures of the twins that, like we don't know who they was. So I asked her I said, do you think you have signs of dementia? And she said, yeah, my psychiatrist told me that. So I don't know what all this other stuff she's been saying and hearing or what, like we told her the only spirit in the text message, my wife said the spirit that's around you is that gossiping spirit because she sit around and want to talk about everybody all day. That's all. All that stuff, like I fixed the door. I don't know what she's talking about in the cabinet because all that stuff was used from somewhere anyway. So I don't know what she was talking about that was on the cabinet. The door handle was loose. I just tightened the screws. That's all it was.
All right, anything else?
I just don't need no protection. We just want to get our stuff and leave her alone. That's all.
Anything else, Miss Denise?
My daughter lost her job because she
anything else, Miss Denise?
Yes. As a matter of fact, where my wood got damaged on my entertainment center, the 5-year-old admitted that she did it. Okay, but anyway, I just I need them to get all this stuff out my living room. Okay. Because I can't even sit down in my living room. And also, y'all took the remote to my TV in the living room. Y'all took my remote to my television. Y'all took my big bag of Dr. Till's Extra.
Everything is still there.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something. Because the day that the police...
Okay, let's go. Now we're going to put you all on mute if you start talking over each other. Okay. All right, Mr. Hawkins, you can go there with a Sheriff's Department escort, but it's only Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and it has to get scheduled out probably a couple of weeks in advance, right, Ms. Free?
That's correct, on at least 2 weeks.
So it's going to have to get, and it's at 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. Which do you prefer? It'll be with the sheriff coming with you there. They don't play 2 minutes in the truck.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's probably going to be a couple weeks out. They're not 2 men in the truck. They don't help you. They just stand there while you get your stuff.
That's all I need.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, 10 a.m. or 6 p.m.
Tuesday at 10.
All right. What we're going to do is if both of y'all will put your emails in the chat, I think we have your email, Miss Denise. So, Ms. Hawkins, if you want to put both your emails in the chat, we'll send you a copy of the order. We'll put it in place. We're going to send you a copy of the order that lets you go to that house and get your things. Now, there's also instructions on that order that says you have to call the sheriff's department and confirm, okay? So Ms. Free has to reach out to the sheriff's department and see what Tuesday at 10 a.m. they have available. You can't be late. You got to show up and you've got to call them in advance. You have to read every single word on that order, okay?
I will.
And just get what you got to do because you can only go one time. So once y'all place your emails in the chat, y'all can leave the meeting and we'll send y'all a copy of the orders.
Oh, Your Honor, I have one question.
What's that?
If they're not here, so can I just get rid of the stuff? Because my living room is really
So
taxed.
what we'll do, so if they don't show up when they can do that, I don't care what you do with it. They've got an
Okay.
order with the sheriff's department, so
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
we'll get y'all that order and it's going to be a day. So like I said, it's going to be a couple days out. I mean, a couple
Okay.
weeks out. So don't get rid of their stuff because some people get this and they never show up. Okay. It'll be a couple days out. I mean, a couple weeks out and you should get it.
So, because I don't really have nowhere to store the stuff, so I got to keep that stuff in my living room for at least a couple of weeks, you're saying?
Well, I mean, and if you want the sheriff's department to come over there and supervise while they get it, yes.
Okay.
So it'll be a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Like I said, now they'll come, we'll send you the order. If you don't get it today, you'll definitely get it on Monday, but we'll get a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Okay. Mr.
Okay,
Hawkins,
thank you.
please, Mr. Hawkins, please make sure that you call that number at the sheriff's department, confirm. Okay.
I will.
All right. Thank y'all both. Y'all can all leave. Stay healthy and safe.
Wow, what a messy case. The judge granted the temporary protection order, allowing the defendants to retrieve their belongings only with a police escort. What do you think about this ruling? Were the defendants out of line for refusing to leave the plaintiff's apartment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.